We're going to go on to vacuum and positive and negative pressure systems, and the whole idea of space travel. Vacuums, in short, can only be contained within a barrier, behind a barrier. See, glass dome. Now, I'm not making an argument that there's a glass dome over the Earth. Don't take anything I'm saying for speculation. I'm not implying anything of my own opinion, anything that doesn't line up perfectly with reality as we see it that we can prove. Okay, I'm just saying that space can't be a vacuum. I mean, it needs a physical barrier for separation. And there you see that, and you see this, and I could go through and do so many of them. You got the barrier. Vacuums always contained within a barrier. Pressure systems cannot coexist simultaneously. Like this vacuum within here would not be a vacuum. As soon as this barrier was removed, it would just be one equal pressure system. It would immediately equalize. If you can understand what I'm saying. They put the tube in and they pump all the air out, pump all the matter out, which is all the air, everything in that. It's just a void. It's completely void. There's no matter, there's nothing in there. It's just nothing. Which leads me to my next point of supposed space travel. Dual pressure system can only exist with a solid barrier separating them. And if that barrier was breached or lost, it would immediately equalize and become a single pressure system. By definition in physics, a vacuum contains no matter, therefore a spacecraft would have no way of propulsion or maneuver. Whatever, so far we can understand that, right? And if you can't understand it, I'd rather you take my word for it than NASA's, because I'm just a random guy doing his best to bring you out of deception that you've fallen under, that we've all fallen under, that we've all been under. It's like a spell, they show you that globe. It's the first two things you're taught. Your ABCs, and that the Earth is a globe. It's a disgraceful deception, and I can do a whole another video on why, and I probably will, especially if there are people interested. I'm on your side. I'm on your side. Even when you're not, I'm here. I'm here trying to wake you up, trying to get you to see the truth. I'm on your side. While you're defending the lies you believe, you're the victim, and I am your help. That's the way you're going to have to look at this. That's the way I look at this, because that's what it is. That's what I'm doing. What benefit do I get out of lying to you? I'm not getting $20 billion of US taxpayer money like NASA is. And that's just one of the organizations that's lying to you. Imagine the military budget. How much of that's going to golden toilet paper in the fucking White House? I mean, come on, guys. Anyway, physics of vacuum contains no matter. In applied physics, formulas and equations, not just the data and the information, no, applied physics into reality. A vacuum contains no matter, therefore spacecraft, and also I just thought about this, data transmission would have no way of propulsion or maneuvering. They have no way to send data through a void, through a vacuum which contains no matter, no substance to carry data. Same for spacecraft. No means of propulsion, no means of maneuvering. Even if it was possible to just get all the way up there to the top, right? And you got this hard, solid pressure system, and all of a sudden you get all the way to the top of it, and you just poof, pop out into the vacuum of space. You got nothing push off of. There's absolutely no control beyond that point. Whatever your trajectory was, whatever momentum you had in whichever directions, it's gonna stay. You're gonna be going like that forever. Oh, but gravity, right? Gravitational pull, right? Gravity holds everything, including the atmosphere, quote, to the spherical Earth. See above 1b, gravity isn't proven. It cannot be explained. Gravity as it pertains to holding water onto the Earth cannot be explained but by density on a plane. Same exact thing to the air, our atmosphere. It needs a barrier. It would still have to have a barrier, even if we live on a sphere. The atmosphere would still need a physical barrier that impedes movement, that holds in our atmosphere, that we cannot physically get past, because if we were to breach it, it would mean the end of life on Earth, because the pressure system would equalize. I hope you are making the connections. I really do. This has been a kind of a long video. It's only 3 points. This was supposed to be short, but I go into such detail and such a fucking nitpicker and perfectionist, it gets in my way sometimes. Alright, well, non-existent curvature and eye level horizon. Point number 3, non-existent curvature, eye level horizon. If you look at the etymology, which is this word study of the words horizon or horizontal, their very basis is of a plane. You know, horizon, horizontal itself means flat. We got, try to make this as simple as possible, as I'm getting tired of doing this and should have already been done with this a long time ago. But dimensions and related mathematics, formulas and equations, you know, 8 inches per mile squared. 8 inches per mile squared. Water, like we go back up to our properties of water and how it always finds its level. Alright, I mean, look at that line. That line is perfectly straight across. This camera angle is a pretty short field of view, I think. It's a pretty narrow field of view. It's not too narrow, but that's a long distance. Okay, it's a really long distance. From this point to this point, there should be some variation. This point should be higher. These should be lower. This slightly, however slightly, you should be able to see. You should be able to go out and look. Wherever you're looking at, wherever your focal point is, or your focal point, wherever you're looking at, your vanishing point should always be slightly higher than what's outside on your peripherals. You wouldn't be able to see that with your own 2 eyes, right? Because you know you're rotating this 90 degrees to the right. Everywhere you look, even just 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree, 4 degree, you know, it doesn't matter wherever, it changes. But that's when you take a still photo and you come in here and you analyze it. And you see that there's no hump. And there's no variation. And there's no variation at all. It's perfectly level. As high up as you can go and as far as you can see before it gets too far off for you to be able to see. Never is there ever any variation. It's always level, you know, level. This isn't any kind of special effect. This is just some random picture I pulled off Google. You can do this with any of them. You can draw a perfectly straight line with absolutely no variation. Not even a pixel of variation. Here, I went in Paint, zoomed up close, got on the exact pixel of the change of the horizon. This is an amazing picture, by the way. I went exactly 5 pixels above that point on each side and drew a line across that. Right, so that's exactly 5 pixels. And this is a really wide angle. This is seeing a lot. This is pretty high up. This is really high up. This is seeing a lot, right? That's a very wide field of view. There should be a dramatic step up in the middle and a dramatic drop down on the sides. How far that distance spans across. Remember the formula? 8 inches per mile squared, you remember? Where's the 8 inches per mile squared? Where's it at? I mean, that's to the whole ball. Like, why is all this warping up into our vanishing point? I mean, that's a really shitty picture drawing, you know, but you get the point. I mean, you could say I'm not accounting for error, right? Like you might even be able to say, because of the color difference, you see the greens over here and then the red in the middle. Some people might even say that I do see a slight hump right there. I do see a very, very, very slight, but no, you don't. Even if you do, I do see 1 pixel of variation. I see 1 pixel of variation, right? Maybe not. I don't know. I can see. It's really hard to tell. I'm at maximum resolution on my computer that my computer can handle it. It's iffy if there's even 1 pixel of deviation. At 8 inches per mile squared, with that long of a distance and that wide of a field of view, just, do you understand? No, you understand what I'm saying? There should be obvious curvature. There should be a visible difference. There should be a visible difference, and there's not. Ever. The higher up you go, regardless of extra viewing distance gained, you would still have to look further down to see the horizon. Now you can kind of tell that this camera angle is pointed slightly down, right? and it's pointed slightly down. You know, of course it's probably not designed to stay perfectly 90-degree level. That'd be an interesting experiment if someone did put a camera in stable out of balloon to keep the camera at a perfectly 90-degree level, and took it up and see if the horizon truly stays at eye level, which I'm sure it does actually, which you can see from this picture. That's probably several tens of thousands of feet up in the air. I guess last but not least, the Irrefutable experiment. That's probably the most valid proof I've ever seen, proving that there's no curvature on Earth. I'll leave that link to that video in the description. But I mean, so far that's that, and that's what we've had. I mean, it's right. Read this. Just read it and picture it. But it doesn't line up with what we observe. So what's wrong? Is our observations and logic wrong? Or is this convoluted model, this vague and convoluted theory? Which one is it? Is it our observations and logic that are wrong? Which one is it? Our logic and observation? Or is it this bullshit ass model? You be the judge.